Here's your astrological guide to May 2025, specifically how to use this month's energy to shift your mindset towards your manifestations. We're talking about the major moon phases, Pluto retrograde, Mercury and Saturn shifting signs, and then towards the end of the month, a lot of Gemini placements, which is really going to make Memorial Day weekend great. The overarching themes here are lots of shadow work, manifestation opportunities, and interconnectedness. There are journal prompts and crystal recommendations sprinkled in here, so be sure to watch the full video and share with your friends. We begin this month grounded in Taurus season as the sun is in Taurus until May 20th. This is all about stability, pleasure, patience, and values. It's a great time to just enjoy the moment, check in with your priorities, and build a foundation for your manifestations by taking tangible steps towards them. Crystals that resonate with this energy are aventurine, tourmaline, citrine, and jade. On May 4th, we have both the first quarter moon in Leo and Pluto retrograde starting in Aquarius. The first quarter moon is always the moon phase about action. So for the first week-ish of May, this is your time to move intentionally towards your manifestations. The moon here is growing, and you can use that growing energy towards your manifestations by taking inspired action towards them. Now with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, Pluto represents deep transformation, control, power, and hidden desires. So this is a great time for introspection and shadow work. What we want to do here is shift our energetic momentum to align with the energy of our goals. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself during this time frame. Really analyze your answers to these questions to learn where you can shift your mindset. The first question is, what am I afraid to admit to myself? The second is, where am I trying to control outcomes instead of surrendering? And the third is, where can I shift my mindset on my manifestations to accept that my manifestations might be unconventional, but believe that they are still attainable? This last question is really important to ask yourself because Aquarius energy is the pioneer of the future. It really goes out of the typical comfort zone. So this is really about understanding the duality that your manifestations might not seem realistic, but understanding that they are possible on some level. Crystals that resonate with this energy are labradorite, moonstone, aquamarine, and obsidian. May 10th brings a full moon in Scorpio, and of course Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, so this really amplifies the energy of the Pluto retrograde. Scorpio moons really bring up our emotional depths, so expect a lot of themes around fear, lack, and desire to surface. If you've been trying to manifest something like maybe love, money, or purpose, here are some questions to ask yourself. Where am I focusing too much on what I lack? And what beliefs are keeping me from receiving what I truly want? For example, you might be looking for love or new ways to make money, but subconsciously feel unworthy of it. If you allow yourself to be honest with yourself here, this energy allows you to recognize what your limiting beliefs are and helps you do the work to heal them. Also on May 10th, we have Mercury moving into Taurus. Now this can definitely cause some opposition to change, but staying persistent here is gonna pay off because that really lines up with this Taurus energy. And if you catch yourself thinking in old patterns, don't force shifting them. First, observe them and then gently steer them back towards gratitude and determination. On May 20th, we hit the last quarter moon, and this is about releasing those limiting beliefs that we just identified previously and reflecting on the manifestation progress that we've done over the past couple of weeks. So some questions to ask yourself here are, what thoughts or beliefs no longer serve me? And what did I learn about myself this month? When we let go of how we used to define ourselves and how we used to label ourselves, it allows new space to kind of fill up our sense of self with what we really want. The person that we want to become, the things that we want to have, the things that we want to do, and the life that we want to experience. We want to fill ourselves up with what we are becoming before we actually get there. Also on May 20th, the sun is shifting into Gemini, and this is really going to shift the energy because just in a few days we have more placements coming into Gemini. Things are going to get lighter, faster, more curious. You might feel more social, more mentally active, and more open to new ideas and perspectives. On May 24th, Saturn is entering Aries. Now, first, for all of us Saturn in Aries people, we're going to be experiencing our Saturn return. So I will be making an additional video on that. Generally speaking though, Saturn is really about structure, discipline, and lately I've really kind of learned that Saturn is kind of the way we manifest things physically. It gives shape and form and boundary to our manifestations to kind of bring them into the physical world. To really understand how Saturn in Aries is going to affect our manifestations, we have to think about what Aries is like. Aries is playful. Aries is childish. Aries can be a little bit aggressive and temperamental because Aries is the child of the zodiac. So when we're manifesting, you might find that even if you're like a little bit more temperamental and feeling frustrated, you might find like if you're like really heavily feeling that energy, it might actually cause you to manifest things a little bit easier. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you feel so lighthearted and just embrace the joy of your manifestations and really find childlike pleasure in your manifestations, that too can really help you manifest your dreams because again, this is all about kind of like that naivety of what Aries is. It really just goes on intuition and it kind of amplifies all of our inner feelings just to another extreme. Aries is also about a lot of action because it's ruled by Mars. So when we think about the action we're taking towards our manifestations, in this, I don't know, like 2-ish years of Saturn being in Aries, we really want to just find like the most pleasure and find the most happiness in the actions that we're taking. We want to take inspired action that we feel good about, that we look forward to, and also understand that this might mean it's also a little bit easier to take action based on frustration. So definitely like be careful of that and really lean more into like the childlike nature of Aries. On May 25th, we have Mercury entering Gemini. And this I would kind of view as like the opposite of a Mercury retrograde. So everything about Mercury retrograde that sucks, like, you know, miscommunication, not being able to think clearly, all those things, that's just kind of gonna go on the wayside. So with Mercury in Gemini, it's such a harmonizing placement. So we're going to be able to think more clearly. If you've had that fogginess in your mind, that's going to lift away a little bit. And also it's going to help us be more social and collaborative in our work. On May 26th, just the day after, we have the new moon in Gemini. So this is really rounding out that Gemini energy, especially because it's a new moon. New moons are perfect time for a reset. And it is the best time to start setting intentions for whatever it is. Specifically in this case, because we have Gemini, a lot of Gemini energy, and because Mercury is in Gemini, we really want to figure out what our goals are and intentions are on, you know, socialization, like kind of what we want our social life to look like, communication, how do we want to improve communication patterns, and also our thought processes, like how do we want to improve what our thoughts look like? What thoughts, you know, we already addressed like what kind of our limiting beliefs are. This is really the time to establish new beliefs that are actually positive and working towards your manifestations. Some questions to ask yourself here are, how do I want to express myself moving forward? And what kinds of relationships and connections do I want? So the thing about manifestation is that it's a co-creation process. Yes, we have immense power to bring manifestations to life, but it really helps if we're surrounded by people with similar energy to what our manifestations look like. So kind of determining, you know, who are the people you want to surround yourself with? What environments do you want to be in to really amplify your energy to align with your manifestations? All this Gemini energy is really maximizing on Memorial Day weekend. This is definitely the weekend to go out, have fun with your friends, socialize, and enjoy life. A lot of the times with astrology, we bring up caveats and be careful for this energy and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, I just see good vibes here. Like, I'm so serious. Like, I feel like this is gonna be such a great time. So just enjoy yourself and have fun. The astrological energy of May is honestly just so well-rounded because we're starting with, you know, taking action and uncovering our limiting beliefs. Then we're releasing our limiting beliefs. And then with all that Gemini energy, we're setting new intentions, establishing new thought patterns and beliefs within our subconscious. And then of course we have the socialization aspect of Memorial Day weekend. Share your manifestations with us in the comments below. I'm a Reiki practitioner, so I'm going to be sending you guys some good energy towards them. Like I said before, manifestation is kind of like a co-creative process, so it really helps having other people's energy amplify your energy towards your manifestations. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. I'm going to be coming out with tons more astrology and manifestation content. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.